to Interglobal today. I'm Undrai Fizer. I bet a lot of you are saying, wow, you got a lot of titles, you got a lot of subject matters, you got a lot of different names for your shows. Well, that shows you how much my wife and I, Dr. Bridget Fizer, and myself are accelerating or evolving or growing or expanding. You know, when you open your spirit, when you let wisdom works, when you let it work, you grow, you go forward. When you remove the resistance from the spirit, you go wherever the spirit is. You go where you already are. You go and you begin to touch what you already are when you let go of the resistance. I don't know the meaning or the nature of everyone's resistance. I can't always say sin. I can't always say that. I don't know the nature of everyone's resistance when it comes to them tapping in or realizing their own spirit. I could say a lot of philosophical things. I could say you're thinking about yourself and you don't want to let. I could say everything, but every one of us know the key to our fear. Every one of us know why we don't resist to the degree, why we don't yield to the degree that we can. No one can say, I don't know why. You are never stuck and don't know why. No one is ever stuck and don't know why. No one is ever stuck and don't know why they're going in circles. We all know why we're going in circles. We all know the nature of the root of the issue that comes with being afraid to yield totally and without abandon and without resistance to who we are. We know. And so I can't say that. So I can't tell you what yours is. But I do know, and I'm not just saying this because it's my wife and I, and because we're doing this, but I know whenever we release ourselves fully to ourselves, we expand. We don't expand together because we're married. There is no marriage power. It's all personal. It's all personal power. It's not easy because I'm married. God doesn't call us into destiny to make it easy because you're married. And if it takes another person to do it, then you haven't discovered destiny. You may have discovered a motivation, but you haven't discovered destiny. You follow what I'm saying? And so the more we release the resistance, the more our life takes on a new foundation or a new schedule. So I'm constantly renaming something, profoundly speaking, or interglobal today, or today's, because I'm naming all of my experiences. You follow what I'm saying? And so that's what's up. So welcome to Interglobal today. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Next week, June 7th to August the 2nd, we'll begin the first curriculum of our 12 to 13 week or 3-month course in Keys to Practicing Purpose. Now, these meetings are not ministerial support. Sometimes we connect to different things that ministry leaders are doing to support them. We spend money to make sure that the program is ran right or that it flows right. You're not getting nothing in return, but your money is making the program run right. Well, this isn't a ministry support opportunity. This is something for visionaries or people who are curious in life, who want to see a manifestation to their ideas. Let me show you what this is about. From June 7th to August the 2nd, Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock from 7 to 8:15, 7 to 8:30. I want to read something. This is an incredible investment for the emerging visionary. Now, when I say the word visionary, thinking of a ministry platform or global this. No, you might have one, but this is for those who see that life is better, life is greater, and they need a tangible wisdom to get to it. This is an incredible investment for the emerging visionary. Learn and practice the keys of governance as it relates to dream building, idea formation, and the steps necessary to bring your invisible passion to tangible manifestation. Now, if that's you, these meetings or this institute would be a must. It's for those who want to learn how to develop it and create a living provision from it. How do I build my dream, my passion, and earn money for it? This is to show you how to prosper in what you said God gave you or in the idea that was put in you before the foundation of the world. God is just not giving us stuff to do temporarily. Whatever God gives you is to be lived out to change your life and the lives of others. Whatever God gives you is not just a program hobby. God does not give out, God does not hand out hobbies. God hands out responsibilities. Write that down. God does not hand out hobbies. God hands out responsibilities. God does not give us hobbies to do. God isn't nervous. God gives out purposes. And this is a great way to discover purpose or to build purpose or to practice purpose. Learn how to implement it into the marketplace and more. A lot of times when we're in ministry and we look at doing God things outside of ministry, we call it marketplace. But this is how to be your full purpose self anywhere you go. Next, this class will help you to develop your spiritual vision and ministry in a very unique way. So those of you who may be emerging in some form of ministry, this would be good for you to learn the governance and the skill and to learn the stamina of how to live and be and embody and become the epitome of that work you desire to do, how to be the first participant of your anointing. This is a good institute for you. And for those who want to take their inner curiosity and give it light and life. In other words, for those of you who have questions of certain forms of spirituality and where you're going, this would be good for you. This would be good for you. So I'm going to tell you something. The monies you pay won't do the work for you. You have to do the work for the monies you pay. Sometimes we put money into something and we think the amount of money we put in something will give us something in return. No, you give you something in return. But sometimes when you do it free, you're free not to give you anything in return. So once again, we're not selling the word of God, or we're not trying to put a price on God. That's what people say. But no, that's what we were doing. Because when you had the time to receive it free from God, you didn't take advantage of it. Some of us never took advantage of what we freely received of the Lord. So we're not paying God to show us anything. You're paying to do the work. You are committing yourself to the work based on what you pay. Now, this Keys to Living Purpose, you can go to our website at www.fizerinterglobal.org and look at what we offer or upcoming events, and you can register. It's $397. And that covers June 7th to August the 2nd. $397. And you can join in person or on Zoom. And those who pay their registration, you'll receive the code to watch from out of town. It's very interactive. You can ask questions and answers, but it's showing you how to take keys of discipline and build yourself and build this incredible vision, to build the steps necessary, because most of us hear, but we don't do. Or most of us, we say that we have a truth, but we don't know what the truth is. We kind of vaguely kind of say things, But if you don't know the name of your truth, and if you don't know how to make decisions from your truth, you won't know purpose. But once you could name your truth, not your weakness, I didn't say name your honesty. I said name your truth. You have to know the difference between naming what's honest and what's your truth. Your truth is not what's honest. You have to know what is the truth you exist from, and from that existence, what would that existence call you to do? You have to look at the things you write. Look at all of the powerful things you may write down. What do those things and what are those words requiring you to do with yourself? What do you have to do to come up with words like that? And if you're going to speak these incredible prophetic words, what are those words enabling you to do in life? How are these words empowering you? So these 3 month sessions are not just for you to support men and women of God. It's for you to invest in yourself. Do you thoroughly know what it's like to invest in yourself? Do you really know what that means? You see, if I can live and hear you say something that I can live without, I would never pay attention to it. It's hard to pay attention to things I could afford to live without. It's hard to maintain focus hearing someone speak on something that I can afford to live without. If I could live without it, I won't pay attention to it. Sometimes investments and money determines what you're paying attention to. You're not buying God, you're paying attention to it. Because a lot of us hear truths from God that we can live without, so you don't remember them. You don't pay attention to them, you don't focus on them, because you're constantly hearing something you can live without, even if you need it. There are a lot of bills you can do without, even though you need the favor from that bill, even though you need what the bill provides, even though you need the services, you can live without paying it. You've got to pay it, but you can really live without it. You understand? So have you discovered what you cannot live without? Not what's needed. Because I found out if you're going to really live purpose, you have to discover what you can't live without. Because if you can live without it, you will never find it. If you can do without it, you won't pay attention to it. If you can afford to miss it, if you can afford to leave it somewhere, then you don't need it. But when you discover what you cannot afford to leave haphazardly, you have found something. And a lot of us have God. A lot of us have God, but we haven't discovered what we can live without. We have God and we can live without it. We can live without it. Can't live without the job, can't live without the stuff we provide. But if you can live without it, it won't hold you. It won't hold your attention. And when I discovered my reason, not my salvation, I was saved and still not paying attention. But when I discovered what I could not live without, it changed my focus and the way I did business and the way I asked questions. I wasn't just flattered. I wasn't just happy to preach. I just wasn't happy to talk. Now I want to know how it works. I need to know, how does this work in my life? Because I told you Sunday mornings used to be the most powerful day in my life, because Sunday mornings never asked about my credit. Sunday mornings never asked how I treated my wife. Sunday mornings never asked how I stewarded my life or managed my life. Mondays asked me. Tuesdays asked me. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it asked me about my credit. But Sunday never asked about my credit score. Sunday only needed me to feel good about preaching. And after a while, when you feel good about preaching and teaching, but you are destroying yourself in knowledge and mastery and power and creativity, you are just a poor preacher. You are just a poor missionary. And I'm not just talking about poor with no money. You are just an anointed person with no substance. And I got tired of being an anointed person with no substance. So these sessions from June the 7th to August the 2nd is like a ministry school, a destiny camp for people with unique ideas who need to be around other people and learn the governmental steps and the attitudes and the avenues of how to do it. You just can't say God is going to show me. No, no, no. See, a lot of us, when we don't want accountability or we don't want our flexibility or our time inconvenience, we say God gonna show me whatever he want to show me. It's like, no, you stop making God do work he's not designed to do. Stop obligating God to do what he's not designed to do. He's giving you teachers and mentors to show you the way. God didn't provide you with ministry resources and mentors for him to teach you. He's provided people to show you the experience because they have to show you. This would be something good for you. So you think about it. And it's not to support us, it's an investment for you. If you find it necessary to be there. Okay? So you think about it because it's going to be a great addition to who you are and your destiny. It's time to pay attention to your purpose. You don't pay attention to your purpose every Sunday. You don't think it's time to pay attention to the reason you were born. You see, I put special attention on the reason I was born. I didn't put attention on my ministry. I put attention on my life. I paid attention to the unique realities and the unique situations surrounding me being alive. I wasn't just born to a Creole mama and a daddy from Louisiana. No, I was born for a purpose. I was not born to give my life away to a certain company for 50 years and die. Even though working for a company is necessary for personal regulation and survival, I wasn't born to be somebody's employee till I died. I wasn't born for that. I wasn't born for that. I wasn't born to just have 9 to 5 until I'm dead. Now, the 9 to 5 is to help invest in my cause and to help me regulate my life if I don't have an understanding of the purpose of my life. There is a reason and a need for every form of work. But I wasn't born to just die an employee. I wasn't born to die that way. So I'm not talking against work because we need everybody to work, even those at Kentucky Fried Chicken and KFC. If you go to KFC and ain't nobody there, you're going to be mad. You need somebody at KFC. I need somebody to practice life at KFC. And I need somebody to master it, to manage it. So I'm not talking about the purpose at what type of job you do, it's what type of life you do. Destiny is the type of life you do, not the type of employment you have. What type of life do you have? Write that down. Purpose is to discover the type of life that I do, not the type of work that I do and not how I punch in. Because the life that I do may be different than the job that I do. But as long as I know the life that I do, I've discovered my reason. And when I master the life that I do, it will empower the work that I do. Am I making sense? Yeah, when I know the life that I have, it will empower the other things that I do. Yeah. That's the secret of it. That's the secret. I have what I can't live without. The kingdom is a life that I can't live without. Not a need, but it's, did you find what you can't live without? I can't live without that. And it's not a matter of I can't live without teaching somebody, because teaching still puts me ahead. Teaching somebody still puts me above someone. So what did I find, even if I have nobody to teach? Have I found what I can't live without? Because I could love the performance and the act of teaching. I could love the reality of engaging teaching. I can't live without talking to somebody else. But if you want to know your purpose, remove to somebody else. Did you still find what you couldn't live without? Am I making sense? Because if it's codependent on somebody else for me to teach, then it's going to always be a performance. I'm going to always be ahead. But I had to find something that I couldn't live without, that didn't have nothing to do with me teaching anybody. And I'm going to tell you something, when you get to the point where you almost die, when you hear the doctor say you could be dead in a year, I couldn't think about anybody else. My life was on the line. I couldn't think about who I was going to pastor or who I was going to teach or prophesy to. I had to consider, Undrai, Fizer, what did you find that you can't live without? It couldn't be, I can't die because I don't want to stop teaching people. People couldn't help me when the doctors told me I could have been dead in another year. Teaching could not help me. So I had to find something that I could not live without, that had nothing to do with me teaching. What have you found? Hey, what have you found? What have you found for you that you cannot live without? What have you found? That's when you begin to see. You follow? So yeah, consider June the 7th, August the 2nd, $397 for the entire 3 months. Once a week, we're going to talk about something. We may talk about 1, 2, or 3 principles a lesson, but we're not just talking principles. We're going to show you how to build. We're going to show you how to take this mindset and build. We're not there getting paid $397 to teach. We're going to show you this. I'm going to show you, okay, how do you think? Okay, where did you put that? Okay, how did you make that decision there? Because if you're going to create a life that's going to provide for you, you got to pay attention to the decisions you make. And you have to pay attention to the observations that you used to ignore. You got to pay attention to the decisions you make, and you have to start paying attention to things you once ignored. You just can't let stuff fly by and say, well, I get to it tomorrow. If you're going to live from your own hands, you have to stop ignoring yourself. If you're going to live and provide, if you're going to create money for yourself, you can't keep ignoring things. You can't put things aside. Some of us are too tired and too lazy to work for ourselves, and that's why we have to work for somebody else. Some of us ignore too many important things, or we make important things not important, or we make non-important things important. We haven't learned at what to do with certain things in our life, and that's how come we can't create our own money. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's why we put it all on God. But God pays attention to details, and you have to do the same. And we're going to show you that at Keys to Practice and Purpose, June 7th to August the 2nd. You feel me? So we got a lot of things going on with Inner Global. We have new clients coming in. As you can look online, we're talking to families. We're talking to individuals who are facing a lot of issues. There is a need for our uncommon services. I told my wife there was a need for our services. Now, you just can't go in the store and pick a Fizer Inner Global, but you have to have an incredible need, an uncommon need to find this uncommon company. Because this company is for the uncommon person. Fizer Inner Global, Kairos Inner Global, Raleigh Inner Global, everyone who are affiliates of Inner Global, we speak to uncommon situations. We don't, that's right, there is a need. We just not a Walmart. We just not a super center. We just not a religious super center. You need to have an uncommon yearn. And God called us to establish an uncommon company for the uncommon yearn. Write that down. Y'all somebody write that down. Somebody write that down. Write that down. Yeah, God's called us to be an uncommon company. Lord, let me write that down to see y'all sit there and not write it down. I'm gonna write uncommon yearn. Uncommon company for an uncommon yearn. Yeah. Because I had that uncommon yearn years ago. I had that uncommon yearn. And regular religiosity and churchianity, the way we knew it, could not speak to that uncommon yearn that I had. And people thought, just be satisfied with Jesus. And it's like, I am satisfied with Jesus. I'm not trying to be a super nothing, but there was an uncommon thing in me. I don't see anything that addresses this uncommon yearn. And we begin to give what we needed for ourselves. And we put our lives on the line. We put our livelihoods on the line. We searched and we developed things for over 40 years. So especially me, 35 years. I've been married 30, but I put a lot of research into this thing. I use my own life as a guinea pig, as a sacrificial lamb for myself. I drunk the Kool-Aid. I drunk my own Kool-Aid. I tested it, everything. I did that, not looking for Jesus, but looking for something to interpret that uncommon yearn. And God enabled my wife and I to develop a uncommon company for uncommon purposes. That makes sense? Yeah, Bridget. Yeah, there you go, Bridget. Uncommon purposes. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. And so we developed an uncommon company for uncommon purposes. But if you want to treat your gift common, you're not going to come to us. It's not a matter of if I'm that cup of tea. If you want to live common and mediocre and just do the everyday thing, you're not going to want to talk to us. And it's okay. But for those who have taken their uncommon yearn seriously, y'all have adapted and connected with me and Bridget. Raleigh Interglobal, two incredible women, uncommon yearn. And every time we meet, tears in their eyes. They say because we finally see it. It wasn't as though no pastor ever taught it, but there is a difference between being pastored and having your purpose mentored. It's a difference between having a pastor and someone speaking into why you were born. There is a difference between being pastored and there's a difference between being counseled from the spirit of the Ancient of Days. It's a big difference now because when what you were born to be has been identified, it unlocks a vault of tears like I don't know what. Finally, I've been found. Not from sin, but I've been found to live. Now I've been born again. It's a big difference, big difference. Uncommon company to fulfill the uncommon yearn. And sometimes it won't be fulfilled in a prophetic meeting all the time. Sometimes you need to be in constant companionship, in constant company of information, of a kingdom thought and a challenging perspective. You got to be in a constant world. You have to be in a university that majors in purpose and not major in church. Sometimes we have to be in an environment that majors in destiny, a constant destiny, and not just what you got, usher, what you got, choir. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not even here to talk about church. I'm just saying we had to develop a daily module, a university that's opened to dealing with the purposes of the uncommon yearn. And that's what we put our money on, and that's what we spent the rest of our lives. That's what we spent our lives doing. That's what my wife and I have done. And I'm thankful for what we've done. We've worked for Dr. Miles Monroe. I was one of Dr. Miles Monroe's leading writers for his leadership magazine. And I'm thankful to serve in that capacity. So I've served with Miles Monroe. And I don't have to name drop. He passed away in 2014. I don't have to do that. I'm just telling you, we've given our life. We've been with many great organizations. We're members of the International Third World Leaders Association. We're part of the I Change the Nations, United Nations Interfaith Team. I'm a commissioned ambassador with the Interfaith Team. My wife is a professor and a doctor. I'm a doctor in religious studies and religious education. I'm thankful for that. I have a PhD in humanities. So we're thankful for the academics and we're thankful for the work, but we had to create something very unique for the purposes of man, that it could open every day and be available through technology or office visits to cater to the need of purpose. A lot of us go to psychologists when it comes to mental health. And where do you go for destiny health? Where do you go? You know where to go for mental health, but where do you go for purpose health? Where do you go for spirit health, not church health? Where do you go when your destiny is sick? Where do you go when purpose is sick? Where do you go when you need to feed it? Where do you go when you need to see a doctor? And I'm thankful that God allowed us to certify many people. Paul Spates, Mary Edna, Mary Duke, Edna Bullock, Cornell Harris, numerous, Kathy Valley, Jason Smith, Shari McHenry, Crystal Holland. You go to our website, Andrew A. Booth, you can go to our website and see those we have certified. So we just don't preach to you. We give you a piece of paper. We certify you. We show you how to take your power and do something with it if you are willing to do something with it. You have to yield to the spirit of wisdom, because the monies you paid to get certified won't do it for you. You do the work when you believe in you. You got to do it. Money don't make God believe in you. It'll help you believe. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So think about it. We're thankful for the learning centers we've established in Ghana, West Africa. We have different connections overseas. So it's not a matter of just mission fields. I'm letting you know we've given our lives to do this. We're touching different countries in the world. So if you want to partner, if you want to invest financially into what we do, we're thankful. We support different community groups here. Dr. Paul Spates' mentee, Jamaica Bingham, has an organization that we sponsor. Trina Russell with Gustavus Pearls, we sponsor 2 community groups, and we do that monthly. We sow into them in whatever projects. We are not just talking things. We are putting our money where our mouth is. We are investing into people who have the muscle to do those things in the community. So we're not just talking spiritual things. We're putting money in practical things for people to eat, to people to get vaccination if they need be, for people to have food, for people to have housing. We're putting money from Inner Global in these things. We are sponsoring these works. And we're not just saying it to say, look what we're doing, because there's so much to do. But we want to let you know, whenever you talk good, that talk good got to be connected to an action in your body. What is your beliefs causing you to do? Because God is not going to have you living, talking good and lost. It's not a matter of finding what to do. Listen to your love, and love will tell you what to do, and love will tell you what to be. So even if you want to invest in us monthly and be partners, we have people that are sending money and just being partners to this work. Well, be partners if you desire to be. We don't have any specific amount. But if you want to learn, you got to overcome the fear of your time being inconvenienced. If you take in your purpose serious, you're going to do something about it. But if you can live without it, you won't do anything about it. Am I making sense to you? Look, that's my time. I'm going to let you go. And I'm going to go watch some Alaska or something. You be good. Read the books. Go and download our app, Fizer Interglobal. It's on the App Store or Google Play. I have podcasts. I have videos. I got everything. We got everything. If you got a book, we have a publishing company. We publish books. Listen, let me tell you something. You better watch and be careful if you're going to talk to me, because you have no excuses whatsoever. If you got a book and hadn't done it, hey, I got a publishing company. I can get your books in any parts of the country. There's no excuse not to write it. There is no excuse to say you don't know how to speak, because we teach courses on how to speak. Whatever you need to know, we know how to show you. You don't have no excuse. And you can't talk about time. I'm on dialysis. And if I can defeat death, if I can do it, and you're much healthier than I am, there's nothing you can say to me. So before you talk, think about it. Before you come at me to say anything, or anybody on my team, you better think about it. We don't believe in excuses. We don't believe in excuses. I see you, Paul. We don't believe in excuses whatsoever. So if you're going to be in my circle or on my team or an affiliate of mine or a person that's got a certificate from me and my wife, We don't do excuses good. We don't do that good. I'm not saying life is not going to touch you. I got to go to dialysis tomorrow. Life touches me all the time, but I'm touching back. This is not about not being bothered with life. So we're going to have to stop using that as some kind of excuse. Everybody go through. Well, we're not talking about it. Let's get through then. If we're going through, let's go through. Let's treat going through like a tunnel. Go through it. Let's go through it. If you're going to go through it, let it be a tunnel that takes you from here to there. We don't do excuses well. We don't do non-communication well. We don't do, I was going to do it and I didn't. We don't do that well. So if you're looking for some place to go that will let you be flexible in excuses, you're not going to want to come here. And you can't have I was going to get off, but I'm going to stay on here. You can't have an uncommon yearn making common excuses. If you say, I got something that's uncommon, and you making the excuses everybody else is making, let me tell you something, beloved. You don't have an uncommon purpose. You got a common gift. But when you have an uncommon purpose, you're going to annoy people with your promptness. You are going to annoy people with your promptness. You are going to annoy people with your questions. You are going to annoy people with your promptness. You make me sick because I know you was coming. Yeah, that's right. You know I was going to ask. You're right. You're right. So you can't play with my team or anybody that's learned from us. We will annoy you with promptness. We'll be there before you get there. We'll ask what you didn't think. And we don't give up easily. We don't, y'all hear me, team? Everybody on my team say, I hear you. Put it in the comments. We hear you, coach. Right there. I hear you, coach. Everybody on my team, we don't do excuses well. We will annoy you with clarity. We will bother you with promptness. We will get there before you get there. You hear what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. We don't do regular good. We don't do regular good. We don't do that. We do the uncommon very well. We do the uncommon very well. You follow what I'm saying? Oh yeah. So if you got an excuse, you're gonna go on and back out now. You follow what I'm saying? No, I'm not bragging. I'm telling you the truth. We teach the kingdom. We not only teach the kingdom, we live the kingdom. Let me see what somebody's saying. Breast cancer. There you go. I want to open a nonprofit for women in domestic violence. I was your next door neighbor, Miss Matt. Oh yeah, Juanette, I know you. I know you. We gotta talk. We gotta talk. You my long time neighbor. I went to the prom with you. I was a freshman. You was a senior. I was a freshman. I went there. I thought I was something. I went to the prom. I didn't know what I was doing. My mama said, "You're going to the prom with Juanette. Mary Shay, you're going with her." I'm like, "What?" Before you know it, I went from wearing shorts to an all-white tuxedo. I remember that. I remember it. Thank you. And we can help you do it. That's right. I remember. I can help you. But that's what I'm saying. Come on, guys. We kingdom people. We're not just saved. We walk in the mind of Christ. We walk in the mind of Christ. That's how we roll. We don't do excuses well. Any one of us that know the Father, we don't do excuses well at all. I couldn't do death well, so I couldn't die. I couldn't do sickness well, so I couldn't let it kill me. Even though I'm on dialysis, I can't do that well. I can't do poverty well. Can't do lying well. I can't do procrastination well. I can't do fear well. I can't do that well. I can't do limitations well. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? I can't do it well. All right, June the 7th to August the 2nd, 397. Those who are out of town, you can register and watch us on Zoom every Tuesday. And let's build this thing. Let's create it. I'm not going to create your dream for you. You're going to build yourself for it. You're going to commit to the steps. You're going to stop. You're going to stop. You're going to stop making excuses. The Lord told me. A lot of y'all that say that the Lord told me to do this here, and it was 12 years ago. The Lord had told me. Well, I see how you feel the Lord. I see what value you've given the Lord. You can make him wait. No, let's not do that. God is so powerful, I can make him wait 12 years. No, it's not going to fly. FizerInterglobal.org. Check it out. Register. $397. That's $132 each month. And if you need a special way to do something, contact me. If you can't do everything up front, contact me. Let's see what we can do. Listen, you have no excuse. You can afford everything you want to be in. You can afford anything you want to do if you value it. So I'm not forcing anything. There is a way to do everything. You feel me? All right, look, that's my time. I'm Undrai Fizer. Visit those of you who are on here right now. Check them out. Check out the strategists and coaches who are on here as well, okay? I'm Undrai Fizer, Interglobal, out. Be good now. Peace.